Looks like we're live.
Good.
It makes me so excited every time. I'm like, ah, live. Anyways, welcome to the inner room with Out of My Damn Mind. This is the space where walls fall away, where stories don't just get told, they land, messy, real, and alive. Here, writers open the door to what drives them, what haunts them, and what keeps them going. Every voice has its own rhythm, its own scars, its own sparks, and together we trace the threads that hold us, break us, and connect us all. It is always a special, special moment to have somebody who I've had the privilege of talking with in the past come back. So, Nicolette, thank you for joining me again.
Is that an intro or an introduction for me to start talking? I was just
I
like,
mean, if you want to say hello, you can. Or I could do.
I
Could
love
do. Hold on.
like your words, that intro. I just got lost. I was like, is it story time with Marlana?
No, remember, we like for people to understand the premise of the space is really about we're all connected and this is a space to share stories, but we're not really sharing all the stories yet. I don't know. But here, I'm gonna pass the mic to you. Thanks for joining me today. Nailed it. Nailed it. I'm so glad that happened. All right. Anyways, Corey, thank you for joining already with a quick question. So what are you two all about today? Oh, I love that you asked that. So unlike Nicolette, who's been here before, I come up with 20 curated questions specifically to my co-host. So we will get into that beautiful first question. This is your third time in this space. Why do you think you continue to come back?
I love you. I'm obsessed with you. I'm gonna be on your show all day. Just make it about me. Just kidding.
I mean, I that is what I try to do in a very loving way because I do understand how important everybody's stories are to like the collective whole. So I have no problem making it the whole time about you. And that's what all the questions will kind of be. It's about you, your thinking, your thought processes, your stories, everything that your journey.
I was kidding. I just adore you. And so I'm honored to be here and thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, I appreciate it. I find it super like special and unique when somebody's like, "No, no, I want to come back." And then when they're like, "No, no, can we do it again?" I'm like, "Oh my God, I feel so loved. Like, thank you." Like it makes me feel like the space that I'm creating here is really doing the role that I'm hoping it does.
Yes.
I'm not kidding. You popped up and there's some divine timing shit. Ooh,
Yeah, Corey, tell me more.
going
What's going
going on. So I want to hear from both of you. There's a deep connection going on.
on? Woo!
It's very interesting that yes, I have never seen Corey's name in one of my spaces, so I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the divine timing. I appreciate the spiritual wording because that is something me and Nicolette can appreciate. And we have recently discovered that we're probably more alike than we even know,
We're
right?
actually astro twins. It's ridiculous. For those of you who, love astrology, even just a little bit, like we have the same moon placement. We have the same major three, right? Leo sun, Leo moon, Virgo rising.
Yeah.
It's insane.
20-degree Leo, right?
Yeah.
For that eclipse that was happening, right? I can't remember all the
We are
like
being lit up, even though we don't know it yet, girl.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's been fascinating to continue to discover the ways that we think pretty similarly. And it's like, wait a minute, are you my doppelganger? Like just in a different body? Like we may not physically look the same, but like I've never met somebody who consistently shows up in ways that I feel like I show up. So I can appreciate you very much. But we are gonna get into more deep shit because that's kind of the conversations we like. So now number two, the second question is gonna punch you in the face.
Shit, number two.
All right, we're already diving in the deep end. All right. uh, do you think we ever actually arrive at the person we're becoming, or does the idea of an authentic self keep changing as we do?
Okay, there was two questions there. I don't think you're ever done.
Mm,
I believe that we are constantly evolving, expanding, whether we want to or not. Okay. So why stop? Why limit your expansion and your greatness? And what was the second part again? Authenticity.
um, or does the idea of an authentic self keep changing as we do?
Oh, yes, because it just seems so like, I don't know, basic. Like if things are always changing, you are going to change too. And so your authentic response to things and who you are, don't you think that just naturally means you're going to change and it's always shifting? I don't know.
I mean, even the way that you communicate sometimes is very similar to me because I'm like, I don't know. Like I'll always edit like when I'm not sure, when I'm honest and open about it. Like this is kind of the thought that I have, but I'm not saying it's right. It's just kind of how I feel. So I love that you also edited that with I don't know. I think you do know. I think we both know. Like
What
it's
do
a
we know?
it's a two-folded question, but I don't I don't want to say we don't become the person we're becoming. I just want to think that the person that I thought I was becoming a year ago changed over the year.
Hell
So
yeah.
so I think that I'm still moving towards becoming somebody that I want to become, but I think it automatically it does change with time, with experience, with challenges, with everything.
Okay. Becoming is a thing. Messy middle is a thing. Like I'm just sensing, why can't we be satisfied with who we are intrinsically and now,
Mm.
and who we're either cosplaying or becoming? I don't know. Have fun with it, you know?
Ooh, I love
Right?
that perspective too. I mean, because again, I some a part of me hates like we talk about this all, the health and wellness kind of guru shit, like where it makes people feel like you have to keep like changing, evolving, growing, and it's like when is like me just being me like enough? Like, so I love that you brought that into the
That
yeah.
the faster you're just like, I am enough, warts and all, whatever saying you want to say, your true genius is online, girl.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just like I think what the whole part of like the healing thing is to get to the point where you actually know who you are,
Ha!
right? So then once you're there, then it's not about becoming something you're not. It's staying authentic to yourself.
See, now we're getting into things that contradict. Like you're trying to get there, but you're already here, and you're trying to remember what you already are. You see how Yoda like that is, dude?
Right, but these are the type of conversations that tickle my brain and I absolutely adore having. So you're always like the perfect co-host to have it with because I know we're usually on the same page. But Corey has a little bit more insight for us, so I want to continue to
I love it.
uh,
Corey's holding it down with us.
yeah. I mean it. I'm down to earth in a down to earth way, but we are finding each other. Does that make sense? S- Yeah, I mean, are you saying you're down to hold on? I mean it in a down to earth way, but we are finding each other. Does that make sense? That makes sense to me that we have to hold so many meetings at once and so many layers at once.
Hmm.
Ooh, Corey, I'm still with you. I'm still with you.
I don't
It
know.
is not a show.
I don't know if I understand that, but
So like so okay, well the first one, let's not jumbled up because again this is gonna my head. Uh I mean it in a down to earth way, but we are fighting each other.
okay.
So like we're not
Fine.
talking specifically like spiritual divine timing or
Yeah, I
are
think
we
what you mean. Like, I don't know if I'm wrong, but it's like you're down to earth and pragmatic, but you're open to miracle. I don't know. I don't want to talk for you, Corey. So if you want to add more, I welcome it.
I said my brain is going uh
Ask
uh,
another question. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, okay. You've described your work as self-authorship.
Yeah.
How much of self-authorship is actually creation and how much of it is learning who you were to told to be?
Ooh, I love that question. That has been a huge thing for me, is the deconditioning journey.
Mm,
Right. And that is literally, I don't know if I've ever said this on any of my visits with you, but I started Substack as kind of like a commitment to myself, like almost like what I understand of you, just like an online journal.
yeah.
Right. And I literally had to tell my best friend, we're like, both pick a medium, because we were like doing all the things, doing the most, and it was like not yielding anything, followers or money. Right.
Mhm.
And they're like, can we just pick one platform where we just do it for us, no outcome, no optimization? I'm like, yeah, let me just write on Substack for me. And I committed to a year, and that's hard for I'm a manifestor in human design, meaning I'm not meant to be consistent, but I did it for a year. And to this day, I still don't have a ton of followers and I don't make a lot of money off of it. But guess what? I met you. I met Gabby. I met Kita. Who else is like all these amazing souls off this platform? So I'm here in the messy middle, sharing it. And that to me is my gift and my gold, and what I want to relate to others on is like the realness. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Yeah, I love that you name so much too, because I struggle with consistency and I don't give myself as much grace
Oh,
as
now
maybe,
yes.
yeah, as maybe you do though, because like naming it the way you just did, I was like, you're not supposed to be. That's an interesting thing. But as you, I've been here a year, a little bit over a year,
Yeah.
and um, I had to start looking at the space not by like the dashboard of numbers that's provided, but at the beautiful connections that have been made because of it. And when I started paying more attention to that, I felt so much like fuller and richer
Good.
in such a beautiful way. So it's like
Mm.
and you guys have called me out on previous shows like that you guys that you've watched with Gabby is like I say I have no friends, but when I say that it's like in my everyday life, like right down the street that I can just go get a cup of coffee with and then like go for a walk or something. I don't have that right now in my life, but I have an amazing community because of this space, and I'm grateful that you're a part of it, and I'm grateful that now Corey, who said, "What I mean is we are finding our spiritual soul sisters."
Yes, that's what I was thinking you were saying. Yes, this is the time when you are meeting your people. We are on the age of Aquarius. All this energy is like find your people when you're really you. Because the more you code switch, the more you mask, then that's what you're going to attract more of. And it's not wrong. It's just when you're your authentic self and you let people see the real you, then the real people love you. And I'm having a hard time welcoming that and accepting that. So I just wanted to put that out there. We're all in this together.
Yeah, I mean, I love the way that you beautifully share that because I think for a long time I didn't even know that that's what I was doing was code switching or
Yeah.
like conforming to what was around me or I like to say I was just a beautiful chameleon in my life, and I don't think I realized that so much, but I'm saying like we don't really realize that till much later. I don't think, I might be wrong, I can only speak from my experience, but I don't know how many people acknowledge that that was what was happening when it was happening.
Mm.
So now that I'm aware that that has happened, I'm a little bit more like, I don't want to be that way. Like I have a choice in that.
There you go. I'm hearing agency, free will, and again, nothing's bad or wrong. Code switching can be helpful. I just want it to be an authentic aspect of myself
Mm.
instead of me going into a job in the 90s where had to wear pantyhose and fucking like greet customers and always like add on and sell shit. And I'm like, no, I don't want to wear pantyhose. Like, why does that matter? Like,
Mm. Dress codes for workplace was definitely cringy,
Jesus.
because it required everybody to be very uniform, and it took our um agency or uniqueness away from what we brought as value to the space. It was just like, no, just be this robot apparently. Like,
Really grateful too, Marlena. On that note, like in my 20s, like when I'm, career, you couldn't have piercing tattoos. I had piercings and some tattoos, but you can't have them shown at work. And now I walk into the bank and I'm like hella jealous. The girl's like rocking shit and like piercings. And I'm like, damn. And I told her my story about the 90s. And she literally never met her, took her fucking like, what do you call it? The croc shoe. And she's like,
yeah.
"Bitch, I'm gonna have to wear shoes." I'm like, they would not. We had to wear shoes in case we dropped a roll of quarters on our toes and they didn't want to get sued. So
Oh man.
anyway,
Wow.
I digress. But yeah.
Margaret, thanks for joining. But to that point, so I don't know, when I look at it, I don't necessarily feel jealousy. Like I'm grateful that that life continues to evolve in a way that allows people to show up however they are and not be prejudged because of decisions they made about tattoos or piercings or hair color or wardrobe style, like size, whatever, like because that's what happens, right?
Right.
So I'm glad that we've progressed in a better way, because this is the conversation I have with people that are older than me. Like I'm like, don't you think it would be cool if there was like a whole different way of living? And a lot of those people are like,
No,
no, this is how it's always been, this is how it's always going to be. And I'm like, but why?
I know.
You
If Gabby
know?
were here, you know what she'd say. So
I know. So it's, for me, it's like I don't ever want to be caught up in a jealousy loop where like, oh damn, this generation gets something easier. Like I would want to be like, I'm glad that we continue to evolve and that things continue to get better for all. Like it's not just one group that's getting to now have these privileges. It's all of us regardless, you know?
Well said, well said. And I keep hearing the word jealousy. I think there's certain emotions which we're grateful to have as humans because, we're here to feel. But when
Right.
we let those energies, and I'm not saying you did, but when we let them like keep us separated from ourselves and others, like jealousy, worry, guilt, fear, shame, I just wanted to name that. Like, I like the way you're like, dude, it serves us all. Yeah, we're not jealous of the new generation, even though I could be. I'm like, damn. Anyway,
I mean, like I said, there's always a little bit of moment of like, I wish I didn't have to go through, but there's like another perspective for me that I choose to sit with more, and that's I'm glad it was us that got to kind of pave the way for somebody else to have it a little bit easier, because everybody has to do that. Like we're all here to help kind of in that, you know.
that's a
Um,
way to say that we paved the way. And then just for like perspective, so every generation goes through this in some way, shape, or form. Like, this is the way we did it. I can't believe the new people are doing this. That's just how it happens, right? But boomers have a more fixed mindset because of what they went through and their parents went through. Think of growing up
mhm.
with the depression, you know? That's why we have a lot of fear in that generation. That's why we're all dealing with generational trauma, because their love came from that scarcity, you know?
Mm,
And they
mm.
looked at us like, oh my, like, I didn't have Uber Eats like in high school. And you see these kids like Ubering rides and food. And I'm like, I went to school with no lunch money and I'm here survive. Like, it's just, I don't feel a way. It's just,
That specific topic obviously speaks very interesting to me because when I think about it, those platforms didn't exist prior to 2020. They occurred because of a pandemic that we were told to stay separated from each other, and there was still a need for certain things like supplies, right? Goods. Um, so it's a very bizarre feeling to live in the world that now has it for the last 6 years, and to think that humans older than me or before me now can't think of a world that doesn't have it. And I'm like, I still will call up a restaurant, I still will place an order with their website,
oh,
go pick it up myself, because I'm like, I'm not trying to support the thing that helps me right now support my mortgage and stuff any more than what I'm already giving them, which is my time, energy, and my vehicle, you know? So yeah, I feel very, but we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. Stuart, Michelle, thanks for joining. Paige, thanks for joining. All right. Moving on to next question. You recently you recently wrote about no longer making other people's ambiguity your responsibility. What did it take to realize their uncertainty wasn't yours to solve?
that's a really good question. I don't know, I can't speak for anyone else except for me, where, I'm an empath. I just feel everyone and everything too much, almost to a detriment where it really was hard to survive on this planet, you know? When you have your own emotions and feelings and then you're just so deeply tied to other people's, right? We just talked about this on Sunday with Gabby, like when your peace hinges on someone else's moods. Like,
Mm,
I love my parents to death, went to therapy, but we had a violent household. So it was hard to, like when you have that background, it's just certain things as a child when you're, forming your frontal lobe in your brain. So going back to the question, it's been a lifelong process, understanding that I'm not responsible for the world, which I feel as an empath. Like, that's why I chose careers that didn't pay me money, but I wanted to make a fucking difference. So it's just like, I need to let go of that burden that I feel like no one put it on my shoulders, but I just felt that. So I don't know if that
mhm.
answers your question, but it's just, why was I born this way? And I don't know, motherfuckers. I don't know. I just want to live my life, but I care and think too much. And so I really need to work on that. Like, how do I care for myself genuinely and others, and not at the expense of abandoning myself, which we talk about a lot with Gabby on our show, because we just want everyone to love themselves enough so that we don't give away ourselves. And I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
Well, I mean, I think it is definitely something specific to each person's journey. And I think for me, what I've, because I'm also very similar to you, empath, the weight of the world is on my shoulders at all times. What I've been able to do for myself is turn it into what is the reflection room, and that's where I just bring the human side to the systems that I don't think are serving the people that they're supposed to, right? So it makes me feel like in a very small way my words will maybe one day make a difference on a greater scale, because not saying anything about the things that are bothering me or the things that I'm thinking about is only going to continue to hurt me. So at least if I put it out there and I let somebody else experience it, even if one person's like, I completely understand what you're saying, or I also thought, that kind of helps me let it go a little bit. Like I don't have to have such a strong grip on it. And I don't know if that really makes sense either, but being able to turn it into a purpose is the only way that I've kind of been able to
Oh,
deal with it, because it is heavy. The world is heavy when you think about everything that's happening in this world in 2026, let alone the lifetime that we've lived and been exposed to. It could be a lot for one person to constantly sit in, so
I love everything you said, and that just makes me remember why I started my Substack. I'm always like, if my posts can help one other soul be seen or heard, that makes me happy. And that doesn't always result in hella hearts or comments or gratitude. So I let go of that, right? So thank you for putting it out there, because I care too about everything. Anyway, and then,
listen, I know we're right here, Chica, so we're
I
good.
I love it because you can pull out my words for me. That's the beauty of
uh
our
I mean
dynamic.
that it is very cool to be able to sit across from somebody that I know understands what I'm saying. So thank you for being that. Let's turn my quick attention to the lovely chat real quick. Corey says, yes, picking up the phone. Yeah, people don't know how to order anymore.
Anxiety when you get a phone call. It's like, oh shit, oh my god, oh my god.
That's why my phone lives on do not disturb, but that's besides the point. Uh, Heather says, I know that place. Oh, Calibrated Chaos has joined us. Hello, hello. Remnant, thanks. Cover Girl, thanks for joining. Corey says, everything you're saying makes total sense. Thank you. It's funny because so probably both me and Nicolette, this is like common sense, but when you have conversations with so many different types of humans, it's not always like that. So it's always
Yeah, Marlene and I were talking about like we want to be I don't know what the right word is, like resonate, because we want to respect everyone else's like perspective, right? And
yeah.
lens. But then we don't know if it's a Leo thing, but we're always like, it makes sense here. Does everyone else feel this way? Like, I don't know.
You know what's funny? It makes sense here, but it also makes sense here, and I think that's where I move the most with is like through my heart, my love, my compassion, my empathy. Is that's where it makes the most sense to me. So then it's super confusing up here when
Yeah.
other people don't make it make sense here.
Yeah, that's the whole point I was trying to say on Sunday too, is like the brain is just a factory of old stuff, just old stuff that you've picked up. And imagine how much we take in and we don't like let go enough. So your brain is swirling while your heart always knows the truth, your body and your heart. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Oh yeah, I mean, yay for me. Corey says I'm an Aries girl, so I feel that in my mind and my body, my spirit. We love fellow fire signs because
Fire sign for real.
yeah.
For real. Damn. Oh yeah. Abby, I'm gonna call you out. She got Venus in Aries.
Yeah.
Look at us. All right, next question.
Sorry, not sorry, friend. What happens? What happens when you stop making other people the center point of your decisions? What fills that space?
Yeah, I did. I stopped that a long time ago. That one, no one makes the decision. Oh, hi.
Onyx, are you going to say hello to the people? Say hello to the people, handsome boy.
You have the coolest name, by the way.
He knows. All right. Sorry for the quick distraction. Every time he sits next to me, I'm like, all right. So you said you stopped making other people the center point of your decisions. So what fills that space now then?
Oh my gosh. Since I make my own decisions, sometimes I have decision fatigue if we're being real.
Mm,
Especially when you're not like in a partnership, you're just like, damn. And I don't want to sound like, because I want to honor privilege, like I'm grateful I have food. Because, I had times in my life where that wasn't always available. So I'm just like, what am I going to eat or what am I going to do? So I don't know if that answers your question, but making the decisions like the CEO of your life, like I'm Venus in Cancer. I want people to make decisions for me sometimes, but I don't like them. The rebel in me is like, no.
well, well, I mean,
I'm like, nope, I make the decisions, but why don't you make one that I like?
mm. I like that you're naming it though, because I think decision fatigue is not talked about enough in somebody who's singular to their world. There's nobody else in it to even like what are you gonna watch for TV or like what are you
Exactly.
gonna how are you gonna fill your day? Like you get to choose all of that every day. And
And
that is such a blessing.
it is a blessing because growing up, like, if I had church and I had school and I went to work after school, like I had no time for me, right? And now to be at this place where I'm almost 50, where I created my life and it's still scary without a blueprint to always make the decision and have so many options, you can get into analysis paralysis, And then like growing up with no like cable because we couldn't afford it. Now there's like hella streaming services, and you're like literally like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. It's just too much.
Yeah, I mean it is a lot. And to Gabby's point, she says make what I like. I mean that was kind of a fire line. So
Thank
uh
you.
but she also says decision fatigue is why I meal prep. So this is okay.
That
Everyone
is the tagline, bitch. Gabby needs to choose. That's why I meal prep.
why I meal prep. So this is like my thing is like I've been open and honest about an elimination diet that I tried for 4 weeks, and now I'm slowly just incorporating things that I was supposed to eliminate out. And having such a minimal ability to just like this is all it really took the joy out of nourishing myself.
Oh, yeah. That's what elimination diet will do. Absolutely. And we know it's temporary. But yeah, there
So
ain't no.
I'm like so there's got to be a balance from like decision fatigue to there's no decision, this is what you're eating every day of your life. Like there's got to be a middle place, that serves a lot easier.
It. Middle place. Because, see, yeah, I've gone through disciplined times in my life, and y'all are meeting me where I'm literally, I need to let the baby out with the bathwater. Like, I'm so fucking tired of dieting and controlling my shit. I need to love my shit and let her be. But sometimes that's too wild. Do you know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure my shit out.
Right, so it's like that happy middle place. It's like
Yeah.
we know it can exist, we just don't know exactly how sometimes, but that's okay.
Okay. That was a good segue. All right. All right.
Uh, all right. How can you tell the difference between something requiring patience and something you're using patience as an excuse to keep tolerating?
Oh, that's a dude. That's a. It's,
It's a doozy of a question.
it's
It makes my brain hurt a little bit even just
made
reading
my
it.
brain hurt a little bit, especially since I hate the word patience. Because when you have as much fire, when you have literally my chart is like a lot of fire, patience is hard, even though it's valuable, right? It's
Mhm.
hard because I need more earth, I need more grounded, I need to anchor, I need to drop in, I need to bring that in. Otherwise, I want to move fast, I want to burn shit down, and then. So, what's the question again?
I mean, honestly, the fact that you're naming something that I obviously I very much struggle with too. I think the question just served its own purpose because maybe it's bigger than patience. But it says, how can you tell the difference between something requiring patience? Like, so for me, it's like Substack requires patience from me. Like,
Mm,
I have to understand that, like, I've never done this before. Right, and
mm,
we talk about it's only been a year for a little bit over a year for both of us. Like, I haven't done this before. To think that like overnight, which a year has substantial time, but to think overnight, like
mm.
something's just gonna happen is less likely, right? So that requires patience for me. From something you're using patience as an excuse to keep tolerating. So, like in my example of life, it's like my previous relationship. I kept telling myself, "Oh, just be patient. Like, just be patient," even though I should have been like, "No, bitch, run." Right, like, that should have been the reality of it, but it was like, I kept trying to tell myself I had to be patient for somebody else's.
I respect that and your perspective on that. For me, it's the opposite. Like life has caused me to be more patient and to understand nature's cycles because coming from a major city, right? Like for you, like New York, Bay Area, like it's so fast. Everything is always so fast. And that never agreed with my operating system and my natural rhythms. But I didn't know any different. That's where I was born. And so I'm in Asheville now, and I literally have learned the cycles of the weather. Like,
Mhm.
we don't have cycles in the Bay Area. You literally pay hella rent so that you have like, we're always like high 60s, low 70s. And then everyone from the Bay is always like a bitch when it's anything else. I'm
Mhm.
here. My ass is handed to me. It's humid. I ain't walking. I literally try to wheel my garbage to the street at 7 a.m. I'm like done for the day, girl. Like, I cannot. So to answer your question, I'm literally sitting in patience. Like, I don't know what's going on with my future. I don't know anything. So I'm not using it to run away. I'm literally like, all right, universe, I'm here and I'm still. And yeah, I don't know what else to say on that.
That's interesting. I mean, we've had very parallel experiences because obviously, yes, from New York, from the Bronx, because I grew up in the Bronx. 25 years of my life was in the Bronx. And when I left to go to Florida, that was an awakening moment. Like, oh, life doesn't have to be this fast. Nobody's in a rush to go anywhere down there.
Right?
Just similar to you in Asheville, from the Bay Area. So when I moved back to New York, so I don't know if you'll ever get back to the Bay Area. You may never live back there, but if you ever do, I think what I learned from what Florida gave me was a little bit more of that understanding that life doesn't need to be lightning fast. That I can be patient. I can slow down. I can like embrace whatever's happening right now in front of me instead of rushing to the next thing. So
Yeah.
I that was like, if there was any value from my almost 8 years in Florida, that's what I took from it, is that it helped at least slow me down enough to the point where now I live outside of the Bronx just a little bit, and it's still got some pace, but it's slower, and it has trees and all birds and my woodland creatures and everything. I see bunnies every day of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I can appreciate that and
Mm-hmm.
not feel like rushed in it. But if I go down to the Bronx, I'm crawling out of my skin. I'm like, I need to get out of here. It's like too
Oh,
much. It's like too much for me. And it's like, what? Hello, you lived here. Like, but at this point of my life, it's like I don't want that chaos anymore.
wow, Marlena.
You know?
That's a beautiful share. Thank you so much for giving us that glimpse. Yeah.
I'm saying, like, so I don't know what your journey will take you, but you might get to a space where you find the middle ground between both of them because that's where your piece is too. I don't know.
I know. I'm really curious where I'm going to end up because parts of me are like, I'm going to probably be an expat next year to make my money go further. And I'm like, can I really live in Asia where there's hella people everywhere after living in Asheville? That's going to be such nervous system shock. But
I love that you named that too, because I'm like, no, bitch, you're gonna be on a compound with me and Gabby somewhere as we continue
thank
to
you.
grow.
Oh, you took that already out of. I told you I'm going to come to New York with hella things that I've already been visualizing for ourselves. And that was one of them, bitch. We're going to be homeowners and do our own thing on
Like,
shared
I'm not even like home. I'm like land owners. Like, here's our property, like our
yes.
of abundance that we grow a lot of our stuff and stuff on it, and we all support each other because it's hard doing this world and with just one singular income. But when you have like a tribe with you, anything is possible, right?
It is so fucking done. I wanted to be inappropriate, take off my shirt. I'm like, fuck this shit.
It's a party.
Sorry.
All right, let's bring some attention back to the chat because they're obviously a part of this space. Calibrated Chaos said, "Not for life. I choose my food for the week on Friday, Saturday, and prepare it Sunday. My food changes weekly. I'm glad that that's your system." Corey said, "The middle is where the dance is. It takes actual work." Thank you for naming that. I couldn't agree more. And I think it also takes work to appreciate it. We all want to get to the version of ourselves that we can see, but we don't. I'm saying, I'm calling myself out in this, like, I don't appreciate enough the uncomfortability that I've been sitting in for over a year and a half.
Proud of
That's
you.
that's helping shape me, right? Like, I have to take a moment and be like, yeah, this sucks, man, this sucks.
Sometimes, bitch, I want to smack you upside the head because I'm like, all the things that are flying at your mouth, I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see it. Stop saying it. I don't want to like take your experience from you. But I'm like, do you not see how awesome you are right now? Fuck later. Like,
Yeah,
right now. I wouldn't fuck with you if I didn't like think the world of you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. It is. I am waiting for the day where all of a sudden something switches in my own like self-talk, that I actually start seeing and mostly believing what other people have already witnessed in me. And I think it's important to be surrounded by people that can see those things so that you are being a little, maybe I don't want to say trained, but you are at least more aware of your true perception. And it's hard. Like, we all think of what we think of ourselves when we don't have somebody telling us every day, like,
Oh yeah.
"Nah, you're a
That
badass."
critic wants to talk, but Gabby's is like, she's up in the mirror being like, I love me some me. Can we all like Gabby and meal prep and be like,
Never mind. Anyways, but Gabby does say understanding natural cycles is something I'm just learning as well. I think that's super important. Also, you naming that like there's seasons where you are now from where it was. That it is important. It is important to flow with it because that's how people, the ancestors before us, lived on this earth, was to flow with the natural seasons, eat what's in stock, right? So I appreciate that. Corey says, we're in the Bronx. I'm born and raised and clean, and then lived in Manhattan for many years. I was a poet in the schools all throughout the 90s, so I know the Bronx really well. So I am from 233rd, the Woodlawn area, which is known as like Little Ireland. It's a very, very quaint, interesting place. But that's predominantly where I kind of grew up. All right. Now let's see if I can remember what question I'm on. All right. If the same lesson keeps showing up, do you think that means you haven't actually learned it? Or can life test the same lesson as at an increasingly difficult level?
Ooh, I think you answered your own question right there.
Yeah. But more of the as you continue to evolve, the level just gets harder, and it's life is showing like testing you a little bit more to make sure that you're still gonna show up in the same way.
I like that. And I'm a little weary around the word test because that feeds into like perfection culture and capitalism where you're not enough, right? You fail. But I get it. We use the
Right,
word.
right.
I've softened and used the word like checkpoints. I find them as soul checkpoints. It's like, all right, bitch, you said you're done with that. And then they'll bring something shiny in a different package, but then they're operating the same way, maybe a little bit better, right? And then I'm like, oh. And then how do I respond and react? Do I lose myself? It's there again, right?
Mhm.
Like you said, and that's the game until we get cleaner in how we want to relate to ourselves and others. So is it ever done? I don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably
Probably.
not.
And I mean, I don't want to like sound sad when I say that, but at least,
It's not sad. If you embrace life as an
yeah.
experiment, like just find curiosity and fun and joy, then who cares? Like we put so much stock in shit. Like who cares?
That is very true. We do put a lot of stock in shit.
Well, shit,
Um,
we need to keep things funny and light too, right? Like, come on now.
we do, and that brings me to a quick like. Meow. So I
Mm,
have this lovely book, and since we've had some nice people in the chat be so present with us, I'm going to ask somebody in the chat to drop a number for me, and then we'll move forward with the next question. And Corey says, "What are some of your strategies for getting through the shaky moments?"
I love that question. I'm always okay. So, human design, if you don't know it, has been a modality I learned about 13 years ago. And it really gave me information on how I operate. And so, my profile line is a 1-3. And essentially, I'm here to investigate and like learn through trial and error. So, when Corey asks what strategies through shaky moments, it really depends on how I'm feeling in the day, what is the level of oh shitness, because if I'm highly activated or triggered, I'm not going to be able to go into my cerebral toolbox and be like, well, let me do this calmly, because I'm not coded as a calm person, like like all over the place. So it could just be like awareness, like oh shit, I'm feeling this way. And that's why, our tagline on Decode Disrupt is where insight meets interruption. Because if you just interrupt that shaky moment and you don't lose yourself, you come back to your body and you go, oh, I'm having this human experience right now. I'm really scared. I'm really hurt. Then you're starting to bring the attention back to yourself and your inner child or those parts of yourself that just really need to feel safe and seen. So we can go on about strategies, but I hope that gives you a little something.
I mean, I think naming things is probably everybody's biggest struggle in the beginning of these type of situations. Because, like I said, I earlier, like I don't necessarily think I knew what was happening when it was happening. So being able to, I think the pause that like we talk about, like instead of just always reacting to what you're experiencing and actually pausing helps kind of enable you to actually name it.
Mhm.
My strategy is kind of a little bit more like drink water, go for a walk. Like
That's amazing.
love my dog. Like though like in moments of like uncertainty and shakiness and I'm not really like feeling great, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, did I drink enough water today? Probably not. Am I hungry? Probably. Have I been outside? Did I get some vitamin D? Probably not. And if I didn't, then maybe I'm going to start there to see if that helps And it sounds so like cliche and silly and stuff. And I heard it in some of my darkest times, and I was like, oh, so that's kid. But then I started doing it, and it did genuinely help kind of that pause that I needed to then be able to name, well, what am I even feeling? What and kind of investigate that a little bit further.
I'm really proud of you to make that your baseline go-to. That's awesome. That's like health coaching 101 that you got in your back pocket as an automatic place to go. Like, I see you. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, it's the only place to me that like makes sense in my mind, and a lot of things don't usually make sense in my mind. So if I could find something that's like, okay, well, yeah, no, this works for me,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna keep using it. Thank
Honestly,
you.
oh,
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, no,
One
go ahead.
to add to that is yes, I have cats. And so just coming back to them and being silly with them and then like putting, like, I know it's cliche again, but putting my feet on the earth, right? And like you said, water or dancing, just one song. And then I'm already like, what was I tripping over?
Well, that's funny that you name that because music is super important to me. So I don't really have rhythm. I'm not really a dancer, but if I throw on any type of music, I'm in a completely different
There
trance.
you go.
So
Music, vibration change, right? Okay,
absolutely.
dancing without performing or making it look good. Y'all, the ancestors were dancing. We need to dance to
Move
listen.
your body.
Like, let it be cray,
Kita, thanks for joining. All
I
right, so Gabby dropped a number 7, which this is an interesting question. Just know it's not mine, and it's from the book called "How Far Would You Go?" Okay, what would you most readily die for?
Jesus.
I know we were. I was trying not to be morbid, but she picked 7.
You will readily die for. Oh my God.
Like, what hill would you die on, like today, if it cost you that, you know?
I don't even know what to do with that question. Like,
All
I'm
right, so I'm gonna go to 17 or
not
77.
on Twitter. I will give you an answer, but it's just I have to pull shit out of. I don't know. Anyone in the chat have an answer to that? Like, I'm gonna
Um,
or that's not
um,
constructive to me.
um, well, I mean, okay. At the end of the day, the way I see death is inevitable for everyone. So I'm over here like, if there was something that like readily was able to just die for today for, it would be in some type of way of making a greater impact, right? So if it's sharing something, saying something, doing something that somehow has a ripple effect that hopefully causes a greater impact, then I'm there for it.
Not
Um,
president. Thank you.
yeah, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work here. You have to be of a certain color and for the most part of a certain
You need
sex,
to
and
be
apparently you have
orange. You
you
need
can't
to be orange.
you need to have be a thief or something. I don't know. All right. Number 17 was, what is the strict what is the strictest a parent should be? And I feel like you are the right person to kind of answer that.
Thank you.
Even though you don't have
I
said
mean,
child, you
kids. I
I
have
know,
no.
but you just said like your childhood. So based off of having strict parents, I think you could figure out a strictest for you.
Okay, here's the tea. My parents had me as a teenager and they weren't strict. And I love that.
Mm.
I tell my mom all the time, like, that bitch let me go to whatever I wanted to go. And having that permission, I was actually like, I don't want to drink in high school. You see? Like, I didn't need to wild out. I'm a rebellious person by nature. But my mom, she knew. She's like, you can spend the night at your friend's house. And I'm like over here jeeping with the, person I'm dating. You know what I mean? Like, she just trusted me. So strict. I could never have a strict parent or be a strict parent if I had kids.
Mhm.
I know boundaries and rules and safety is important for a young person. But the whole thing where your kid's going to go and do the opposite of what you did if you're a tiger mom, and that's not calling people out. It's because babies are souls and then we're trying to condition them. They literally came from primordial like ooze, like no body, complete freedom. All of a sudden they're in the skin and they're crying all the time and they just want to sleep and eat. And then now we're telling them you have to go to school, you can't pee, and you can't like even do recess anymore because of budget cuts, and like all these wild souls need to express. So in my opinion, they don't need strictness, they need containers and support and safety, but I think they need room to express and grow and make mistakes and know that their parents support their unique dreams instead of, you're going to be a doctor, bitch. Those are my 2 cents.
No, and I think those are very valuable 2 cents. I can go in a lot of different directions, and I'm not trying to go in certain ones at this specific time, but I can appreciate that perspective very much so because I, like you, don't have child, but I am on a street that there's children like in my household next door and stuff. And one of the my neighbors was talking about one of her kids, and I was just like, you know that like your child is also on their own journey, right? And like I get it, it's super difficult as a mom to like want to make everything easy and protect them, and you don't want, but like everything that they're going through is also helping build who they're gonna become.
Oh my God, I love that you said that. And speaking from having a teen mom, she had to learn through me. And when I talk back, she would be like, "Oh, it's literally her mirror. I'm her mirror, right?
Mhm.
Like, oh, you're gonna tell me I can't do this, but you're doing that." I know every parent's heard that, right? Because we're trying to discipline them, and then we want to live our adult lives, and that's like a whole territory that must be hard to do. But yeah, anyway.
It's always fascinating. And it's obviously easier to speak upon when you don't actually have one that
100%.
you're responsible for.
If I
uh,
had a kid, I don't think I couldn't. And that's probably why God didn't give me a kid, because I would worry and control. And I'm already trying to like unlearn that as an adult myself.
adult, yeah.
If I had to do that with a kid, I'd probably inadvertently pass on these things to my kids. So I believe in that's not my journey, and I'm a cat mom. Thank
Same, just dog.
you.
Um, Corey goes, there are so many types of death. There is the spiritual death, the emotional death, to the physical death. The only thing that I would physically die for is my children. But of course, I would figure out how to stay here so I can continue to be there for them. I thank you for naming that. Yes, that's beautifully said.
Well said.
All right. Do you think becoming more self aware actually makes life easier?
Ooh, it's one of those like two sides of the coin. Because that whole phrase, ignorance is bliss,
Mm,
it really
very true.
it is,
Very
right?
true.
Like, I'm just gonna go through my day and do my thing and not give a fuck about what I do to other people. But there's a thing called karma, and what you do comes back to you. It's as simple as that. So the more self-awareness, you can be highly critical and in your head all the time. And if you already have that predisposition, then self-awareness is one of those things where if it doesn't come with grace and compassion, lightness and joy and other things to soften it, I don't know. How do you feel?
I feel always fascinated when somebody's like, "Well, you're like really self-aware," and I'm like, "Yeah, that doesn't make any of this easier." That actually sometimes makes it harder for me because it's like, if I am aware of this, if I am aware that X, Y, or Z is causing this, then why can't I fucking fix it?
Ooh, that's a whole thing. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna comment because it's that tendency. I see it. I want to fix it and I want it to be exactly the way I want. And we just talked about this on Sunday. We can't control things, but can you still keep your center or your peace?
right, right.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't think it makes it easier. I think it adds a different layer of
Oh, so you're
complicated.
definitely saying more self-awareness is not easier. Yeah, I would say arguably you're correct, but I also think self-awareness is the
Well,
key. I don't know.
right, I don't wanna be ignorant. No, no,
No?
no. I like being self-aware, but I don't think it makes my path any easier.
Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna play contrarian. That
Please
is
do so.
that is a belief you have right now. I
Right,
believe if you want to have more ease in your life and be self-aware and you want that, you can have it.
right, that's the balance, that's the skill that I'm trying to.
And each person has to figure that out as life evolves, in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
ooh,
Uh,
what do we have in the comments?
Peter says truth, Gabby says truth, and then Gabby says self-awareness is a double-edged sword.
Oh, I love it. I love the energy in here. Like so much gratitude and love for y'all taking the time to join us. Like, oh, just gives me so much life to be with such amazing, creative, tapped in souls with, yes, I'm going to sing your praises, Marlena, because I met you the first time I was on this show when I was in the shit in Nashville. Like I literally broke up with the person I moved out here with. You remember? I had no community. I was just blah. And it's still, 2 years later, it's still working out. Like who is in my life, but the people you attract on your show, and I'm grateful for the people on Substack. Like every person in this space is just a unique being who we share like this desire, this underlying like I don't know how to name it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like it's either greatness, but you're also humble and you're creative, but you're loving. You know what I mean? Like this beautiful intersection of folks here. I just want to just thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, like I always say, this space wouldn't be anything if it didn't have all the people in it. So I appreciate everybody that shows up live, and then I appreciate anybody who watches any replay on any of the spaces that you can do so. But the biggest value for the inner room for me is obviously the connection and the community. So I'm just grateful to have a space that is able to do that. But Gabby did say ignorance is bliss. Self-awareness says you know better, you do better. The wisdom with this comes with knowing others aren't self-aware enough to know their own ignorance.
Ooh.
The wisdom comes with knowing that the others aren't. So I mean, lovely, lovelily said. And again, it to me doesn't make any of the experience any easier. Uh,
Facts. Yeah.
but it is a nice way to name kind of what at least we are aware of.
Navigated that. That was a good one.
Yeah. um is there anything you're currently being asked to practice that you initially no that you intellectually understand but still haven't figured out how to live?
Oh, I actually in the last 2 weeks finally embody and understand how to thrive in uncertainty because
Mm.
life didn't get easier. The circumstances didn't get easier. I didn't get anything outside of me to tell me you're going to be okay. Like, if anything, the things in my life got harder. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do things differently. I'm going to play with this. I'm going to be like, okay, instead of my mind focusing on all the things that can go wrong, which is a hypervigilance response. You know, I had to heal that. It's like, what if I use my energy, my mental, emotional energy for what if things can go right? What if I assume this family member is well and it's taken care of and not the expense of anyone in our family, which, you know, when you're dealing with someone with a terminal illness, it causes a lot of stress on the family. If I look at all the areas in my life that are uncertain, girl, I would not get out of bed.
I mean, I think you're preaching to a choir, but I think a lot of people would feel probably very similar to that. So
I
um
literally had that issue, like severe depression, and I'm so grateful to not go back there. And I have a lot of compassion around people who experience that because it's not a fun place and it's really scary. So my answer to you is like, I have to stay fresh and creative. How I keep my joy, and I'm also not head in the clouds, like you know, Pollyanna about life either. You feel me? So I don't know. I really want to
yeah.
celebrate that. Damn, dude, that's amazing, Nicolette. Like nothing's changing in life. No, but I'm happy and grateful and excited. And it just takes like one little mustard seed of faith instead of the worry. And that can shift everything. And that compounds daily, you know?
No, yeah. I mean, again, I always find it interesting how my co-host can say something that they are not really maybe aware that I might be experiencing myself. So you naming that was very interesting to me because just recently, right, we just had this whole eclipse situation happen, and
Mhm.
that day, I don't want to say ruined me. I don't want to say that, but it definitely wrecked me and I was like I was just emotional the entire day, and I was angry, and there was just so much going on, and then the next day
Mm.
all the same things were fucking happening, but I chose to not cry about it. I chose not to react to it. I chose to just be like, whatever. Life is wants to fuck with me to see what I'm gonna do, so I'm just not gonna give into it.
Yeah.
So intellectually, I know that I've survived the last 37 years and I am capable of continuing to do so, even when it's super uncomfortable to believe it. Like that's what I'm trying to learn is just to keep the faith of the proof that I already have that
Good.
like I'm
Yeah.
capable of, you know? Um we don't like tests, we like checkpoints, but I will pass them, yes. Thank you, Gabby.
Elena, thank you so much. And I
But
appreciate you sharing that about the eclipse because that was a great example of what I just said in your direct experience. Same circumstances one day to the next, but it was how you reacted or didn't react. And that's all we can really do, y'all.
yeah,
Right? So
absolutely.
simple.
Uh, Kita has something to add to the conversation. Thrive in uncertainty. Beautifully stated. It's refusing to let the unknown paralyze you. It is trusting your ability to adapt, lead, and become, even when the path ahead is still unfolding. You may not have every answer, but you have enough courage to take the next step. Yes.
Yes, Peter.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and I think again, like that's articulating it to the point of maybe what we both are kind of communicating is just like that's where we're at now. Is like intellectually we know, again, circumstances haven't really changed, but the way that we react to them
Yep.
can, and that's us taking our power back just a little bit.
Yes. Ooh, I like that ad. Type
You're
power.
all right. So I need somebody to pick a number between 13 and 20 because that'll be the last question for this because I don't want to respect people's time.
5 minutes, Marlana. I love that. We're in flow. So fun.
Every episode I'm like, why does it go by so fast? But like if I'm not doing this, an hour of my time sometimes can feel very stagnant. Like when I'm waiting for an Uber order.
Yeah.
Like,
You just feel like hell on earth, like it's forever, huh? You're like, where? Come on, let's go.
well, I mean, one that's worth doing. Again, like anything in life, we have, after doing something long enough, you create different boundaries to protect your pieces. And I'm not as desperate as maybe I may be. Like I may be desperate, but I'm not that desperate, like to take the things that are not going to benefit me in any way. So, all right, we're going to go with 18.
How cute that is. Let's do 18.
Do
Aw.
18. Yeah, so we're going to go with 18. What are you still completely fucking confused about?
Dating. Oh my God. Modern dating.
Mm, mm, mm. I'm glad we went with 18 because this will definitely close out the show because we could talk about this for a minute.
Ah.
You know what? And it's not even. I don't even want to just speak from it from like an LGBTQ community
Okay.
experience. I want to think that even like my sister is on those apps and she is hetero, and I think I've seen her date a lot, and there's so many different guys that she's been exposed to. So I know it's not just like us in the queer community that may
Good
be
to know.
struggling.
Good.
It's like just dating in general,
Dating.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think the times make it difficult,
Mm-hmm.
right? We have access to communication in so many different levels, but yet we struggle with it immensely.
See, more options, more decision fatigue, less efficiency.
Right. And I was like, proof. And again, I get it, like that there are different styles of communication, but like even like just in trying to develop friendships with other people, like I am somebody that will ask you, well, what do you need in this moment? Because I'm not going to pretend to know. I don't know, and I'm not going to show up in the ways that I feel like I would want somebody to show up for me, and it not be what you need. I'm not going to waste that energy. So I'm definitely somebody who's, even in a friendship way, it's like, well, what do you need? And if you can't tell me, then you can't get mad at me for not showing up in that way.
The fact that you ask, I'm always the asker too. That's why Marlon, I'm like, what do you need? And then no one asks me what I need. And I'm like, okay.
Right. It's like, right. Because I literally just asked somebody, and I even put this on a note on Substack, like, what do you need in moments of uncertainty? And this person came back, and it was basically a lot of like different little small acts of services. It's like paying attention to small things is what they need. But did they want to finish, like, try to engage in the conversation and be like, well, what do you need? So, like, to that point, that's right there. I'm already turned off in all levels of anything because it's just like, oh, so I'm interested in learning you and understanding you, but that interest doesn't seem to be the same. And then also trying to remind myself, well, you can't expect yourself from others, right?
Right? You're so right. That rub, that is a real rub. Like it's a
Yeah, so,
conversation.
right.
What?
So it's like how much of myself am I
Mm,
giving to anybody in any type of whether it's dating or just trying to develop a friendship with somebody before just being like, yeah, no, not for me.
that right there, I think we're giving it a chance. And if we don't feel reciprocity, I don't know, why bother?
I mean, to me, that's like a huge thing, but I also think that's something that the world struggles with at this time.
Girl. Oh, you want to go another hour?
No, I'm just saying. I have time.
I know, it's like, oh, we gonna talk about that now. Okay, shit.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's definitely a very interesting world at this time, and I don't think it's easy to just connect with people. So that's why this space is even more like I have more gratitude for it because it has allowed uh genuine connections to kind of flood through my life in ways that the IRL does not, right? So,
Ooh, there's some good comments.
I know.
Mm.
Uh So Kita said, I agree. And then she said, true, I'm done pretending, even with self. Calibrated Chaos says, modern dating is hard when you are self aware, self assured, have boundaries, emotionally mature. But why?
Why? That is a good question. Why is it harder? Or do we need a dating app for people who are self-aware? I don't
But
know.
I mean, like, how many people do you think would lie about it just to
That's what I'm
access?
saying. I know. It's a slippery slope, but ooh, I don't
Yes,
know.
it's like, but why having those things that I would have think that me, you, and Gabby, and probably even Keita would want to see in others in this world, right? Like you, I can't expect somebody to be those things if I'm not those things. So if I am those things, why am I not attracting other people that are naturally those things as well, or want to become those things?
Because you're like we've talked about, we're I'm speaking for me and maybe you if it resonates. We have been in this like isolation period, right? And you can look at this from any angle. Like in the Bible, like God will separate you from people so that you can really go deep and understand yourself. Okay. So the field, meaning the people in your life, have to catch up to the new you. And it takes time. It takes time to attract those people, or they're still mirroring parts of yourself. So I don't know, it's a patience thing. But how many people are on this planet? You are going to find people who really like you if you let them and you keep being yourself. That's what I'm learning and I'm appreciating. Because in my 20s, it was like, I need to be seen, like I need to be cool and I need to have more friends. Like, I don't know if that was a babe thing, a me thing, both. But now I'm like, oh my God, I have 3 friends and they're so nice. Chicago, one's in New York, and God, I wish we could like meet up for happy hour, even though I don't drink. But I'm just saying, like, they're out there, but I'm here, and that's okay.
Right. So I was like, it makes me wonder that, like, at this specific time for us specifically, if it is by design, like to let it here, like, here's your taste to let you know that people like that do exist, but you still need time to incubate. Like, you're still cooking, but we don't want you to lose faith in the fact that like these things do exist.
Yeah.
So you get them, but you get them from afar. Like,
Or don't lose faith and go back to old
yeah.
patterns, or what we say, breadcrumbing, to just a space filler. Like, you
Mhm.
need to, like, I'm not telling anyone what to do, but for myself, it's like, oh, here's a warm body. Is that enough? I don't want to deal with anyone's shit without like an investment and agreements. Like, no.
Yeah. No, like, 100%, and I do believe that I had very similar experiences as I communicated to you and Gabby, I think yesterday. Like, I used to have so many friends. Like I had friends from like every part of my life. Like, I had friends from school, I had friends from work, I had friends from my neighborhood, I had friends, because I went to a store and I made a friend there. Like, I could collect them. It was great. I was like, oh, like, and then life was like, you don't need all these people that don't actually see you.
Ooh, that's a quality over quantity, right? That's
Yeah.
that's it right there. Because I'm like you, and I think we track as gregarious people, and I love socializing as much as I love my alone time. But yeah, I miss like walk. Okay, so in Oakland, we had a kava bar, not champagne, but have you ever had kava, like the Polynesian root? It's amazing. And
Hmm.
like Cheers, the 80s show, where it's like you roll up and you're like, hey, and you can get a hug and you can talk to another creative, another queer person. You can get a hug. That was my happy place, like, my post divorce place. I have not found that yet. And I can't be demoralized that I won't find that again. You know?
Right. Right.
But I'm a lover. I want to hug, and then I want to do my own thing in the corner and be around people. Anyway, I digress, but I just want to speak to what you're saying.
No, I appreciate it. But I think for me, like, this year, a little dose of that was because I live in New York and because basketball was thriving. Anybody that was wearing a New York Nick anything, it was like an open invitation to have a conversation. And like, I think that that was like so beautiful to watch in the city, is that how people that were strangers didn't give a fuck that they were strangers because they had this one common interest, and it was to see this team finally break a 53-year curse. And then when it happened, you saw the collection of humans just trying to celebrate the moment. So, like, I know humans need humans and want humans. And that's why this space is so important to me because, again, at the end of it, it says threads that hold us, break us, and connect us all. Like, I know we all like thrive in connection. So, I have faith that it can exist, especially if it can come from a sports team,
Oh,
right?
that is so New York, honestly. I don't know why. I just totally
But I
think.
mean, it was like such a thing, such a moment in June where everybody, no matter if you were on a bus, walking to the train, going into a bodega, if you were anywhere and you were caught with like a Nick fitted or a jersey on or a shirt on, people felt, hey yo, you think they're gonna win? Like they just started having a conversation with you, even if they've never seen you before in their life. It was like an open invitation to connect, and I just think we need more of those types of
Mm,
moments, just
mm,
in this world in general, not just in my personal everyday life, but just in this world where it's okay to do that. You know, the one gratitude that I have from Uber is that it still allows me to show up in spaces,
mhm,
right? I still interact with humans and before I switch gears and say let everybody like off the hook, I recently went to a rehabilitation center.
mm,
Now I don't know what's wrong with anybody in this space, you know,
mm.
but I know the moment that I walked in there, it felt grim, it felt heavy, it felt uninviting, and I was like, I felt like I was this like little ray of sunshine that just like walked into this space because the elevator door opens and it's like I have people just staring at me, like patients just staring at me, nurses just staring at me because it's like right where the nurses station is, and I'm like, I'm just looking for room 536. They're like all the way down the right, and there was these three old guys that were sitting on their like walkers or they're in wheelchairs or whatever outside their rooms, and I kind of had to like squeeze through them. So I was like, "How you doing today, fellas?" Again, just trying to bring light into a place that felt so like, ugh,
I feel you on that
you
100%.
know.
We
So
need
it's just like
a light of sunshine. Mhm.
right, like people, we all need that. I think in this world. So connection is important, obviously, to me, and the way that we do it has been very interesting in 2026, whether it's dating or developing friendships. But I have to think that it's all for a beautiful purpose. you know.
Oh, I'm totally in my mind seeing that scene. Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure you brought so much joy just with
Well,
your.
no, it didn't feel like that. I felt like, damn, am I like too much? Again, I have questioned this, like, right? Am I too much for the space? Because I literally said, "Hey, fellas, how you doing?" And like they all like kind of looked at me like I was fucking strange. And then I had to walk through them again. I'm like, "Hope you guys have a great day." And they're like,
Mm.
"Bitch isn't noticing the atmosphere apparently, or something." Go
What
ahead.
comes up for me when you say that is I worked in corporate offices, but my soul was dead. And it feels
Mhm.
like that because I believe it's not right for a human being to be under fluorescent lights, at a computer screen. So their life force is offline most of the time.
Right.
So when someone vibrant and ebullient like you comes in, they're kind of like already like nonplussed, like they don't even have the ability to react, right? Or know what's good in front of them. And here's my last thought on that is I taught corporate meditation and I
Mhm.
had so much anxiety going into these very offices because I'm only in there for 15, 30 minutes for my thing, right? But I'm already like, oh, I can feel like we're empaths. I can feel all the anxiety and the fear and the ugh. And I'm already like, I'm a wilted flower and I'm here to uplift them and help them. But I'm like, get me out there, get me out of the office. I cannot.
But thank you for validating that, Spears, because sometimes I think I'm crazy. I'm like,
Real.
why did I feel so heavy in that space? And it was like I was only there for 5 minutes and I felt fucking suffocated. I'm like, get me the fuck out of here. And then it makes me again question, why are these places designed like this?
Well,
If
we're
it's a
not all the same. Remember this, me and you
right,
need this
yeah.
tattooed on our face, which I don't want a face tattoo, but we're not the same because if we were the same, then I know the world is chaos. But imagine if everyone was the same. Like we need balance. We need people who will sit in an office and we don't need to judge why they do it, right? Like, thank you. Do I agree with it? No. I have opinions on that.
But so my other side is like, okay, I agree that those jobs are important and the people that do it are definitely, angels for doing that. But why do they have to be designed that way?
Oh, you're gonna have
Like
to
you
write
but I'm
that
saying like you could but I'm saying you could change the design of the light bulbs. You could remove the light bulbs and put different light bulbs. You could have windows. Like you could put plants. Like you could do that,
I know.
right?
I
Right.
know. That depends on what business it is and if they're going to budget it. Oh, if you're talking about services, you think they're going to give a fuck about that?
Well,
Mm-mm.
this is where my thing is about just the world in general, like, and that's why the reflection room is so important to me. Is like, why do we continue to accept what's been as if it has to be? You know, Kita says, I gave my mail lady a high five and told her I appreciate all that she does on my run the other day. She told me today that this is her favorite route now because of my gratitude. That made my heart smile.
I love that, Kita. Those moments are huge. And I feel like I operate in the world like that. Marlena, I feel like we just do that. Like we naturally, and it just changes that like whole person's life. And that's just so beautiful. I
You know
love
what?
it.
Gabby says it doesn't have to be people lazy and don't like changes. So I'm like, okay, maybe, but I'm also like, no, I think it's about expenses. I think it's about like to what Nicolette said, budgeting. It's about profit. It's about we don't need that. That's gonna cost me more of my bottom line, and I don't want to spend it on making sure my employees are happy
Happy and healthy, which is so asinine to me.
because they
It's
would work better for you. But that's okay.
thank you. It's like, why don't you care about your employees almost like your family, not like to the level of like if you have 300 people, I know there's limits, but if you have that mindset, could you imagine? That's why here's my PSA. I have a team. My team is well paid, well rested. We don't work, we play, we come together. They're like people are excited to do their job. You know what I'm saying? And they do their job that they love, not something I'm forcing them to do. We have conversations like, it's not that hard to create a happy work environment. I don't know. And then I don't get it. Like this.
This is what I say. There are some things in this world we'll never understand. Some things in this world we'll never understand. It's not meant for us to. But Heather, thank you for agreeing and thank you for being here. I was like, I don't think I've been paying attention to everybody's name, so I appreciate anybody who's been sitting with us this entire time and joining and participating in the conversations. Wow, what a doozy this one has been, hasn't it?
Okay.
I have no idea where we went on this. People are also miserable.
But as opposed to our last one, I think where we were both just like inwards and not feeling it, which was still, I'm glad we showed up. But this time we were just like,
I mean, but I think we were so chatty, even though we weren't in the mood. I think you could just tell the energy was different in the previous one to this one, and I think it'll always be different. I think every time we connect, it'll be different. We're humans; things change.
exactly.
You know,
Exactly. All
but
right.
I do appreciate this energy. Thank you everybody for being. I can't believe it's already time to say peace out, Cub Scouts. I cannot believe that it's been such a beautiful bosses put people in boxes. Ugh.
Ooh, I like the alliteration there.
Mm.
Boxes, put people in boxes. Yeah.
All right, because you're just there to do a said job.
Need that. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you again, Nicolette, for joining me for another epic conversation, and thank you for everybody in the chat who showed up today. With that being said, you've been in the inner room where conversations go deep, the connections surprise, and the truths linger long after the world quiets down. Until next time, keep listening inward because that's where the stories that shape us really live. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Happy Tuesday.
So much,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye.